Hello. I pray that you guys are well. Please excuse me for having the shades on, but I'm having a little bit of light sensitivity with my eyes. But I did want to go ahead and get on regardless and complete my assignment. So I wanted to speak today about leadership in one particular part of our circle that is very important and could be very damaging to our leadership if this particular part is in play or in place. It is very important for us as leaders to not surround ourselves with yes men. What are yes men? Yes men are those who go along with anything, with everything that you say, that you do, that you put in place, irregardless of whether it's right or wrong. Yes men never challenge you. Yes men tell you that everything that you're doing is perfect and fine and okie dokie. And that is not a good thing for good leaders to have around them. The word of God says that iron sharpens iron. And so you cannot, if you are iron, be surrounded by um, plastic cutlery or tin foil or aluminum foil, because those are not the things that are going to sharpen you. Those are not the things that are going to cause you to grow. Those are not the things that are going to challenge you in your leadership and really press out the oil of leadership. Now, why, as leaders, do we have these types of people around us? Sometimes, and most of the times, in what I have witnessed, is it goes back to trauma. It goes back to rejection. It goes back to abandonment. It goes back to that orphan spirit and wanting to be accepted. A lot of times with these types of leaders, they have been parented in a way that they've been told so much that what they do is wrong. And so for them, it's traumatic for someone to say, um, to them that they may need to change something about what they said or how they said something. It all goes back to a traumatic experience or traumatic experiences. Now, sometimes as we're growing as leaders, I think that it's unintentional. I've seen this as well, where leaders are actually growing, dealing with some of their trauma, and they haven't yet come out of the place where the old is falling off or shedding away. And so some of those old friends are still around and they haven't come out of one particular circle and found themselves in the new place that they're coming into as they begin to heal. That type of leader, in my experience, um, has known enough to challenge themselves, um, has known enough to not particularly take the word of the yes man. But sometimes you have leaders who have bonded with these yes men because of their trauma. It's called trauma bonding. And so, with this type of leader that has the yes men around them, again, we go back to immaturity. It's a circle of dysfunction, and it's probably a very closed knit and close knit circle where not a lot of people are allowed in. And if they are allowed in, if they're not that same type of person, then they won't last long. Or if they are, then they'll be pulled in to what's going on. So we have to be very careful, because it's not beneficial to us to have people around us who always agree with what we do, who always go along with what we say, who always think that every idea that pops out of our head is the best thing since sliced bread, because that's not the truth. It just absolutely isn't. For any leader that I've ever known, even myself, I've had to have sounding boards around me to bounce my ideas off of. And it is not a good thing if it's a yes man or yes men, because if it's bad, they're not going to challenge it. Even if they think it, they won't say it. If it's not good, if it's mean spirited, if it's coming off the wrong way, they're not going to tell that to you, because most of the time the yes men are dealing with trauma of their own. And that's why we're bonded. And so I just want to challenge us today as leaders. We have to really consider that we have people around us who are iron, that are going to sharpen us, that are going to say sis or bro, if it's a male leader. The way that you said that could have been better. You may need to go back and apologize. Well, I was looking over, what you said or what you gave me, and let's reevaluate this part right here. And we not be offended because somebody is challenging us, as long as they're doing it in the right spirit to cause us to grow, and to press out that oil of leadership. Because yes men will keep us small. That iron is going to force you to grow. It's going to pull out of you that's within you. If your countenance is low, it's going to cause you to come up in your countenance. If the way that you say things is an issue, you lack tact, or just the choosing of your words is poor for whatever reason. It could be that that's the environment that you grew up in. That iron is going to challenge you in that area. They're going to put it in your face. They're going to call you to the carpet. And so we have to be mindful not to have yes men always cheering in our corner, because they're going to cheer whether we're right, wrong, or indifferent. And it's not challenging us in any way. It's not causing us to grow in any way. It's not pressing out any oil of leadership in us. It's basically allowing us to be who we are and stunting our growth, keeping us in an immature and dysfunctional place where we will remain if we keep the yes men around us. And so I challenge us today to truly get amongst those who are going to task us with being the best version of ourselves as leaders, being the best version of ourselves in whatever capacity that we lead, leading in our homes, leading in our workplaces, leading in our ministries. And you guys, yes men can come in many forms. Yes men can be a husband or a wife. Yes men can be sisters and brothers. Yes men can be mothers and fathers. Yes men can be friends, co-workers, peers, and colleagues. But we have to be careful about people always coming into agreement with our foolishness. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys have a blessed and prosperous day. Until next time.